I have a strong feeling that, like many of you, you have a love-hate relationship with a Chinese import vendor called Temu, T-E-M-U. That's next here on the Shade Tree Garage. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Temu. That's the way I call it, T-E-M-U. Chinese vendor of inexpensive imported stuff. You can buy everything from paint guns to carburetors to just about tools, just about anything. Now I will tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with Temu. I love their prices and I love some of their products. Some. Now I will tell you this, a little surprise came in today's mail. I got a package from Temu, and I'm sure if you've browsed Temu very much, you probably have seen customized insignia or logos or labels, chrome emblems that you can have printed, customized for whatever your need might be. And so I thought, that's what I thought to myself, So anyway, I had this made. Let's see if I can get it all in. Shade Tree Garage. Nice chrome scripty thing. It is really, really thin though, and a little flimsy, but you know, if you put that on a fender or a toolbox, it looked pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. In fact, I'm real happy with it. I might get two. Who knows? Anyway, so this is one thing I'm happy with Temu. Now, something else that I got that's worth the money, I think, is this. This is a roll of plastic masking with tape already on one end. I've got a mask up my wife's former daily driver, her Jeep Patriot, and respray the hood. And this will help get me started. And this was inexpensive. And yeah, as long as the plastic doesn't blow apart and the tape sticks, we're good. All right, now something that when it comes to Temu, you have to be careful about the listing and what you're buying, because I have seen listings that were, I won't call them necessarily deceptive, but they could easily get you to spend your money, and because it looks like they're possibly selling something that they're not. Okay. All right. Now, usually, if you have to read really carefully the listings to make sure of what you're actually buying, because sometimes the photos will show more than just the item you're buying. Case in point. Paint cup, your standard cheap-ass paint cup that comes with just about every spray gun. You know, threaded, top comes off, vent in the top. Now, I'd never use these. I've got the disposable cup system, the first kind, not the second version. And it works fine. The disposable cups are great. I don't want to have to clean paint out of these. And so I don't use them unless, you know, there's some reason I need to, or it's just easier. So, but anyway, I don't use these. Well, there was a listing. And in fact, I went back and looked at it this afternoon. What did I buy? Well, there was a paint cup and there was a red HVLP spray gun in the picture. But if you have to read the listing carefully, and I saw it this time, but I didn't the first time. All I saw was a cup with a spray gun for, I don't know, $5 or $6. And I thought, what the hell, I'll do that. Well, what the hell, I bought a $5 plastic cup that I'm not going to need, and not the spray gun. You know, but I can remember that because I was browsing Temu in a hurry, and I saw this, and I thought, oh, what the heck? And I didn't really read the listing close enough to see cup only, not the spray gun. So live and learn. Now I've got this cup. Probably never going to need it. I've got a ton of these, here in the shop that I purposely don't want to use, just because I use the other system. It wasn't that expensive. It might have been $4 or $5, but live and learn. If you're shopping on Temu, read every listing carefully before you make a decision to buy. Okay. Now, like I said, the two of the three purchases came out really well. I love the script, Shade Tree Garage, and I like the vinyl masking with the tape on one end. This, however, was a waste of money. I would never have bought just a plastic cup. Anyway, live and learn. But again, if you're shopping on Temu, be very, very careful and be sure you know what you're buying. Because if it's too cheap, as this was, I should have known there was no gun involved, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I ran right through it. Missed it. So anyway, live and learn, and maybe you can learn from my mistakes. Just now, I've been reasonably happy with all my Temu purchases. I've gotten. Now I'll tell you one time. Let's see. I don't have a roll of it here, but I bought a package of. Well, it's not handy. I bought a package of like clear packing tape that goes on a tape gun. The big rolls that are, well, they're this diameter. They fit a tape gun this wide, and it was clear tape, and it was a package of, I think, 6 rolls of it, and it was exactly what was advertised, and real happy with that purchase. Now, a couple of years ago, I bought some tape on Temu, and it was going to be, I don't know, 4 or 6 or so many packs. Well, the tape, it wasn't real clear the size of the tape, but these, I've got them around here somewhere. These were little bitty rolls of tape, more like packaging tape with a Scotch tape dispenser. They were that size rolls. The photo led me to believe they were the big rolls. I assumed, and you know what happens when you assume. So anyway, I made an ass out of myself, thinking I was going to get something really useful, and got something, well, it's still tape, but it's still narrow and a small roll of it. Again, you get what you pay for. Just be careful you know what you're getting when you shop on Temu, or that also goes with AliExpress and any of these other Chinese vendors. Be careful what you agree to. Now, I will tell you. Let's see. Here's wait a second. This is another Temu special I got. This little touch-up gun, and actually, it seems it's inexpensive, but you can't put a disposable cup on it, but it's designed for like touch-ups and stuff, and it has a pretty good feel to it actually. However, look at this end. This has a high flow end, but it's not compatible with anything I have, unless you get let's see, I don't know how. Unless you get one of these from Temu, which has the correct fitting to go on there, and then it has an air filter, and then of course here's another one of those high flow connectors that doesn't fit anything I have. However, I can take this off and replace it with the standard filter I have. Okay, so that would still make it usable. Now I've run into a case with these sorts of fittings, and I've got one of my I bought an air, an air chuck with a hose and a gauge on it from Temu, and I've had several of those, and they're okay. But this one came with one of these fittings on it, and so I took it out and I went to put in a standard fitting that would fit the rest of all my connectors. The threads didn't match up. It has some smaller, non-standard thread for the fitting. And so I couldn't replace it. I haven't been able to replace it yet because I can't find out what those threads are. So yeah, that's kind of a pain in the butt. But using this adapter I have, and this all came as one piece from Temu. All right, and that's a nice little air filter right there, and you can drain it. It's got a little port there at the bottom. You can drain any moisture, and this fitting here, it is a standard thread, so I can remove this and replace it with a standard connector that fits everything else in my garage. Anyway, just be aware that sometimes you're going to get a connector like this one that isn't going to fit anything in your shop. And actually, I've searched Temu. I haven't been able to find them having listings of these types of connectors. Because see, it's got a big old opening there, better than 1/4 inch. And I wouldn't mind switching my shop, all my paint hoses, to these larger fittings if they were selling them. Now I think Harbor Freight has high flow fittings, and so I may wind up making a trip there and getting enough fittings to change out all my air hoses. I've got air tools that I'm not going to change over to, but I would like to have on my paint guns, I'd like to have fittings that would give me the opportunity for high flow with those. All right, anyway, again, this is a lesson about Temu. Be careful, read the listings in great detail, and then look down at the reviews, because some of the reviews will cast a little more information on whether you should make this purchase or not. Now, something like this touch-up gun, it's cheap. It's cheap. I know it's cheap, and I got it because it was cheap. But if you want to do door jams or something, around the inside of a trunk lid or something, this might do it. Anyway, I was just intrigued by this thing and pulled the trigger on it. The truth is, I probably have way more paint guns than I could ever possibly use. I have quite a collection of inexpensive paint guns, and I've got a couple of good ones. I've got a couple of R500s that I think are LVLP R500 guns that I think will be fine for overall refinishing. Oh, and I've got a Drizzle D1 as well. I've got some decent inexpensive ones. I wouldn't mind investing in a couple of Porpoise guns, something in the between the $200 and $300 range, Anyway, that's enough about that and Temu. Again, be careful what you buy and read the listings carefully. All right, well, that's going to do it. I'm going to figure out what I want to do with my beautiful little shade tree garage emblem and where I want to put this. It might fit on the front fenders of my Chevy with it say Chevrolet. I could have it say Shade Tree instead. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do with it? But it's fun. All right, well, take care, and I'll be back with some more here in the Shade Tree garage. Still trying to finish up this door on my 55 Chevy, but it's coming together, and I'll have that done soon with another report from here within the walls of the Shade Tree garage.